what you said. No, dog. How you gonna tell me what I said when I'm the one who said it? Godzilla, bro. I might serve God, but I ain't trying to meet him. Hey, it's still okay. No.
Shalom, shalom Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to YAHAWAH, BAHASHEM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHEM, Rakwah Quadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to the mighty Akim Wathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity, as well as a speckled bird that may look like the other nations but are actually Asherallah. This is Brother Kawa Cup coming at you with another lesson. Today's lesson is going to be on this one little quote from this video that I was watching. You know, I do want to say, to start it off, I think that this guy is funny. He's pretty funny. I actually watch his videos. I think his videos are funny. I enjoy his videos. That's basically it. So when despite my, I don't know, hyper analysis or whatever, what's it called, over analysis or criticisms for what I'm about to say, for what he said, I'm still gonna watch his videos. I'm still gonna like the videos that he does, because this is just a one-time thing. No, it doesn't matter. Just, you know, at times you can still enjoy people's stuff if that is what you decide. All right, so I'm not saying don't watch this dude. I'm not saying, oh, I hate this guy or anything like that. This is just Jake. All right. I personally don't like most Jakes, regardless of what they do and don't say. All right. So anyway, the reason why I'm making this lesson is because I heard this and I thought, oh, you know what? That is an outrageous thing to say. All right. If you claim that you are a servant of YAHAWAH, if you claim that you are a servant of God, all right, if you want to say God, God, if you say you serve them, then why the fuck would you say that you don't want to meet them? And of course, again, I just want to go back into this. This is a joke, okay? He's making it as a joke. I get it, sure, but that's the thing. Jokes like these are usually, I'll say usually, grounded in some sort of truth. All right. On top of it being grounded in some sort of truth, this is just how people in general do really think. All right. They claim to serve Yahawadah, or maybe not Yahweh, but God or whatever. All right. But in actuality, when it actually comes down to believing, following after, you know, all the stuff that people claim to do, they're nowhere to be found. They're nowhere to be found when it comes to the actual, like, serious matters of, you know, attempting to please Yahawadah. Hence why this one quote made me want to make a video on this, because at the end of the day, this is a true thing. And what I basically mean by that is that people in this society, Christians and whatever, they don't really have a close connection with Yahawadah, and as a result of that, you know, the only real things, all right, the only real things that they can think of is, oh, I want this mansion, or I want this thing, or whatever, and stuff like that. They don't think about the blessings that are waiting for them in the kingdom of heaven. All right. So as a result of that, you know, let me get this. John 14:2. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you, I go to prepare a place for you. All right. It says many mansions. Hold on. It's for a second. 2 Corinthians 4 verse 16. For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding eternal weight of glory. Or we look not at the things which are seen, but the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. And that's basically the thing where, people are so fixated on the temporal, the things that they can see. They say like, oh, I see this nice car, I see this mansion, I see this house, I see this job that I want or whatever, but they don't perceive the blessings of YAHAWAH. They don't see the greater good that the Lord wants to give to his servants. All right, so as a result of that, people, they're just fine with settling for the consolation. Let's actually get that over here. Luke 6 verse 24. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. So if you are rich in this society, that is your consolation prize. It's like a consolation is like the second place prize, because you weren't worthy enough for the main thing. All right, so as a result of that, again, this is why it's so important that we remember what we're doing these things for. Remember who we're doing this for. We remember our goal. We remember what we want. If and I'm not saying in the sense of like, oh, you should disconnect from the server immediately. That's not what I'm trying to say, obviously. All right, but you have to understand that when it comes to what's the word, the importance of acknowledging how special and how integral the blessings of YAHAWASHI are, then how can anyone say with full but how can anyone say while claiming to be a follower of YAHAWASHI that I don't want to meet him? Like that's a very like it's a contradictory, insulting type thing. Like it doesn't make any sense that if you claim to be a servant of YAHAWASHI that you're going to say that, oh, I don't want to meet him and stuff like that. Like it doesn't make sense for that. Now bear with me one moment, Slakia. So as a result of that, that's why I wanted to make this video, because like I think you always sometimes it's best to think like, okay, is this something that you would actually say? Is this something that you would actually apply to yourself? Is this applicable to me? Like, would you say the exact same thing? Would you say the exact same thing for yourself and stuff like that? And hence why I was like, okay, so no, like that doesn't. Of course, I want to meet YAHAWASHI. Why would I not? Okay, what reason is there for me to say that? Oh no, I don't want to be with YAHAWASHI. No. All right. So this is just a straight slap in the face to, what actually matters. All right. Now, next, Matthew chapter 6 verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust do corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And that's the thing, where your heart is not with your people that speak like this. Your heart is in this world, and it's not in it's not in YAHAWASHI. It's not in what truly matters, what actually matters, which it should be. The thing that should actually matter should be, YAHAWASHI and attempting to please YAHAWASHI. But because you have so many people that have just abandoned the things that actually matter, which again, like I can't stress it enough, what actually matters. What is the thing that actually matters at the end of the day? And it should be just YAHAWASHI, undisputed. All right, there shouldn't be any question about your loyalty and your desire to want to be with YAHAWASHI, because that's where all the blessings is. That's where all the good is. That's where your purpose is. And let's actually get that. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Okay, our duty is to please Yahweh and to keep his commandments. That's there's nothing else that should be on your well, obviously you're allowed to have opinions and different desires to something else, but ultimately the main thing above all should be Yahweh. But yet again, because people, they put other things above Yahweh, and that's where you got stuff like this, where people are incapable of prioritizing Yahweh over anything else. So they think that, okay, well, I want to live this, I want to keep on doing this, I want to do this. This is my number one priority, while filibustering and smooth talking and saying, oh yeah, I love God, God's my number one, while their actions contradict their words. All right, hence, and even with stuff like this, when people say stuff like this, they don't really realize. And even this, if this person is really a Christian, maybe he is, maybe he isn't, I don't know, but if he actually is a Christian, then he doesn't, I don't even think that he realizes just how insulting. Because think about this, all right, if you have a wife, let's say you have a wife, your wife says, oh, I love my husband, but I'm not trying to be around that guy 24/7, or I have a husband, or I'm not trying to be around that, or I have a wife, I'm not trying to be around her 24/7, I'm not trying to spend time with them, I just want to go do my own thing. Like, would you really feel loved by that person if you're saying that you don't want to be around them, you don't want to spend time with them? Like, or would they or would they not feel hurt? Would you not feel hurt if someone said the exact same thing about you? All right, if there's someone that you love or whatever, they say, oh, I don't want to spend time with Kawa or whatever. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like this, I'm trying to go do me and whatnot. All right, like, you're not going to feel hurt or feel like this person doesn't actually love me because they don't want to spend time with me. They would rather live away from me and live doing stuff that's contrary to the things that I believe and I want to do, rather than spending time with me. That's not a proper loving relationship. All right, you're just keeping them like some disrespectful placeholder. All right, but of course, again, I forgot what precept it was. It was basically something about you're not allowed, you shouldn't burn out. Obviously, there are certain times. Well, that's the thing, and that's just the thing in general with Yahweh. He allows us to have our hobbies, but at the same time, let me get this instead. Hold on, because it's also important.
The internet was buzzing over the weekend after it was revealed that Donald Trump is going to be
Oh yeah. I know another one. So.
from the country of Qatar. This is a gift that the country is giving to the United States.
So first, Proverbs 11 verse 1, a false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. And over here, Proverbs 25 verse 16, hast thou found honey? Eat so much as is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomit it. Basically, the thing is, oh yeah, honey is nice, honey tastes good and whatnot, but if you eat too much honey or too much of a good thing, it's still bad for you. All right. So in that same sense, you need to be able to moderate the things where, you don't want to burn out on just focusing on the scriptures. So again, you're allowed to have your hobbies. You're allowed to do stuff, but it doesn't mean that you just, that doesn't mean that you just try to find any excuse to be away from Yahweh. Now, of course, if you personally find enjoyment in, reading the scriptures and whatnot, that's fine, and that's a good thing. Call Yahweh. But outside of that, doesn't mean that, okay, what, I just need to only focus on burning out and doing only this thing. Like that's not what I'm trying to tell anyone. I'm not trying to promote that myself. Okay, just because I am pointing this out, that doesn't mean, and pointing out how insulting it is to say something, to say what he said, that doesn't mean that I'm telling you I'm telling anyone for that matter to just only dedicate your life. Well, in a way, yes, but still, that doesn't mean I'm saying to spend every waking moment dedicated to Yahawadah. The Lord literally allows us to have hobbies outside of Him, of course, and that's the love and the mercy. All right, where even with like say for example, a husband and wife. A husband might have he might like playing video games during his free time, and that's his time away from his wife. And then a wife might like, I don't fucking know what some housewives do and stuff like that, be it fucking, I don't know, I dead ass don't know, but talking, gossiping or whatever. All right, so that can be whatever they want to do, and they can do that. All right, but and what's so funny, the women that I know, they actually like gaming. So that's why I was thinking like, oh well, maybe I could just say gaming, but I'm trying not to be so fucking generic. All right, but I guess, yeah, if a wife wants to game, she can also game as well, and that can be her time, because people have their different tastes and stuff like that. So whatever. Like there are different things that you're allowed to have a life, but that doesn't mean that you disrespect or disregard. All right. Same way that as a husband, you spend time with your wife, and then yes, you have your gaming, or and vice versa. It still doesn't mean that you just disrespect your significant other. All right, so let's continue on. Revelation chapter 2 verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So basically, the thing here is that death is something that's supposed to be a good thing. If you're suffering or dying for the sake of Yahawadah, then that's where you're going to be getting blessed. So how are we talking and saying that you don't want to meet the Lord? You don't want to meet the Lord as a quote unquote servant. All right, like that's how ridiculous that statement was. All right, so for me personally, I'm over here, making my lesson, doing all these different stuff. I mean, like, why would I say I don't want to meet Yahawadah? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. If I know exactly what the Lord told me to do, I want Him to. Hold on, let me get that as well. Hold on. Fine. Bless is that servant.
When you talk about moral and character concerns, it's like what about immigrants, women, minorities, and political opponents. Many feel he normalized cruelty and dishonesty. Like he normalized cruelty and dishonesty. Some whites don't want to be associated with that image. Many white people don't want to be associated with that.
Matthew 24:46. Blessed is that servant who his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. So if I am doing the right thing, if I'm doing exactly what Yahawadah told me to do, all right, and I know this for a fact, all right, as soon as the Lord meets up with me, like say for example, let's say that the Lord randomly, magically, just for some odd reason, a meteor hits me and kills me, like as I'm making this lesson. All right, just for an example. All right, I'm gonna be fine with that. I'm gonna be happy because the Lord is going to see me actively doing something that He told me to do. He told me to do this. I'm doing it, and then I just have a reward. I just have a reward because, oh, you died while doing exactly what I told you to do. You died doing exactly that, exactly the thing that is the work that I wanted done. All right, you're doing what I wanted you to do. All right, so of course I'm gonna be blessed for I'm gonna be blessed for that. All right, like that you have to really like examine the things. If you think that if you actually think that the stuff that you're doing is not going to be pleasing to the Lord, then of course you're going to be saying stuff like this. And that's the thing where even this is a spirit, by the way. I think it's funny. Imagine this because this was some things that GMS brothers were saying. They were saying that this whole music stuff. I thought it's this whole music stuff. There should not be brothers doing music and whatever, because that's not what the Lord said. The Lord did not say to make truth music or whatever and stuff like that. So I just think it's funny that if you take that exact same example with the meteor thing, and while you're making music, and if you randomly just got killed by a meteor or whatever, and then you have to face YAHAWASHI, he's gonna be like, you weren't doing what I told you to do. You were more focused on your music rather than going out, doing lessons, uploading all this stuff and whatever, studying. All right, how are you gonna face YAHAWASHI if when you're not doing what he said? All right, you didn't do it. But now, of course, if you have, I think the best way to say this is that you're allowed to have hobbies, of course, but you can't allow the hobbies to get in the way of what's important, which is this truth. All right, so why aren't you teaching? Why aren't you making this truth more accessible to those that need to hear it? But instead, you're more worried about, oh, I need to make this music. I want to make it big in the thing and whatnot. All right. So yeah, let's continue on. Mark chapter 8, verse 35. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. So being able to lose your life, die for this truth, die for YAHAWASHI, that's where you're going to find your life. But you're trying to save it, which again, this goes back into the thing. I didn't even realize this, but when you have someone like this, okay, again, this is, I'm not speaking for this guy specifically, but at the same time, just the fact that he said that, it is something for him if he does end up seeing this, which I highly doubt it. It's something for him to kind of examine in the sense of not wanting to die. All right, not wanting to die to meet YAHAWASHI. That further goes to show that, okay, well, you know that what you're doing is not fulfilling to what YAHAWASHI said. Okay, and even then, I'm not saying to be ready to, or yes, I am kind of saying be ready to die, but I'm not saying to forfeit your life. I'm not saying that. All right, but at the same time, not being accepting of death implies that you're not ready to meet YAHAWASHI. And if you're not ready to meet YAHAWASHI, then that just means that you have to re-examine your priorities in life. Are you doing what the Lord wants you to do? Or do you know that you're not doing what the Lord wants you to do, and you're living a life that's contrary to the teachings of what YAHAWASHI said? All right. Now, Romans 6 verse 8. Now, if we be dead with Hamashiach, we believe that we shall also live with him. The exact same way that we die in the flesh. All right, we will live in the spirit. We will live in the kingdom. We will have that everlasting life. Because even through death, physical carnal death, that's not the end. That's not our end. And again, it's something that people have to really be really examine, all right, where if you, and I'm not saying to not be afraid. You don't, if you're afraid of death, okay, that's fine. Okay, I'm trying to be, I'm trying to help explain, but I'm not trying to push a specific type of mindset. Okay, I'm trying to let you better understand that just because you don't need to just readily be ready to die, but at the same time, like, this is the way that our ancestors lived. Okay, if you remember the story of the Maccabees, all right, where the I think it was Eleazar, what he had said. Eleazar, let me see. I don't know how to spell his name.
And I think a lot of white Americans today, if a point like this comes again where they have to make a choice, then they would have to think and think again before they make that choice. And this one leaves black people at a point where they need to be respected. I'm not being biased.
No.
I'm just trying to tell the truth because the truth is here and everybody can say it. Tell me what you see in the comment section. I'll do my best to make sure I read the comments and give a response where possible. I am at
Eliezer, what the fuck? How is it Eliezer? I'm pretty sure it was Eleazar. What the hell?
Today, I want you to like, subscribe, and share the video if it interests you, and come back for more. Until next episode, peace out.
Okay, yeah, that was not Maccabees 6. Second Maccabees 6. Second.
This is democracynow.org. I'm Amy Goodman. We end today's show with part 2 of my recent interview with the reporter Chris McGreal, who is the Johannesburg correspondent for The Guardian.
Okay, it was Eleazar, so my bad. Anyway, with Eleazar, basically what happened here is I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will summarize it so you can go check it out yourself. It's in Maccabees chapter 6, a bit in the verse. It starts at verse 18 over here. So the thing here that happened here was all the Israelites, they were basically being forced, quote unquote forced, or not incentivized. What the word? They were given ultimatums, basically eat swine, break the laws of YAHAWASHI or die. That was basically what the options that they were given. The Israelites were like, okay, so we're not going against YAHAWASHI, so you can just kill us. You can just kill us. And they ended up dying. So they died to follow after what YAHAWASHI said, rather than, because that was the thing. They didn't care about preserving their lives because they didn't care about preserving their lives over pleasing YAHAWASHI. And that's the exact same mindset that we need to also be, where are you able to forfeit your life to please YAHAWASHI? Like that is a very, like, I guess, scary thing for certain people, because not everyone is going to be able to do so. Okay, they're more worried about, oh, how do I get money, how do I live, how do I extend my lifespan, all this different stuff, rather than how do I please YAHAWASHI? What is the most pleasing unto YAHAWASHI? And as a result of that, this is where you have people like this, going back to this guy, where they basically say the same sentiment. All right.
Godzilla? Yeah, I really thought you said no, dog. How you gonna tell me what I said when I'm the one who said it? Godzilla, bro. I might serve God, but I ain't trying to meet him.
So yeah, people that also believe in this same sentiment, where they claim, and that's again, I'm saying claim, because people, they really don't claim. A lot of people, they do not serve YAHAWASHI. Okay, people might claim to be followers of YAHAWASHI, but if they were actually followers, then why wouldn't they feel okay or comfortable with meeting YAHAWASHI, as well as why you so fixated on saving your life or keeping your life and stuff like that. Okay, now of course this is a skit, this is not real, all right, but it's still applicable, as most of the funny jokes which I didn't really laugh at this joke, but most jokes are oftentimes, and I'm not saying that I didn't laugh because of the thing, because I laugh at most of his other stuff. I'm pretty sure if I went in and found one scene in this video, I'm pretty sure I would laugh at it. But I'm just trying to say that in general, that this type of stuff is how people think. All right, people think like this, where they don't want to die, they're too scared of death, they cling to life rather than clinging onto YAHAWAH, but yet they still expect YAHAWAH to protect them. All right, so with that, I pray this testimony is edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahawashi, Ba'Hashem, Rakwah Kwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, Abba and Shalom.